Money, it's the one thing almost everyone wants, but few truly understand. You've probably heard stories of people earning millions, yet still struggling financially. Or maybe you've seen families making modest incomes, yet living comfortably and building wealth. What separates these two groups isn't just the amount of money they make, it's the way they manage it. The truth is, financial success isn't just about making more money. It's about avoiding the hidden traps that keep so many stuck in a cycle of debt, stress, and paycheck-to-paycheck living. Today, we're diving deep into the 7 financial mistakes keeping you poor and how to avoid them. If you're ready to break free from financial struggles, transform your money habits, and set yourself up for lasting wealth, then stick around. Each of these mistakes is a silent killer of wealth, and learning how to avoid them might just change your financial future forever. Number 1. Living beyond your means. One of the most dangerous financial traps you can fall into is living beyond your means. It's an invisible snare, one that feels harmless at first, but slowly tightens around your financial freedom until you can barely breathe. Imagine this. Sarah is a 28-year-old professional with a stable job and a decent income. She makes $5,000 a month, which is more than enough to live comfortably. But here's the problem. Sarah's lifestyle costs her $6,000 a month. She drives a car with payments she can barely afford, rents a luxurious apartment in the heart of the city, and splurges on designer clothes and weekend getaways. On the outside, Sarah's life looks glamorous. Her Instagram feed is filled with beautiful photos, and her friends envy her lifestyle. But beneath the surface, Sarah is drowning. Her credit card debt is piling up, her savings account is empty, and every month she's forced to take on more debt just to keep up with her expenses. This is what living beyond your means looks like, and Sarah's story isn't unique. Millions of people from all income levels find themselves in this same cycle, trapped by lifestyle inflation and the constant need to keep up appearances. But how does this happen? Why do so many people fall into this trap? The answer lies in our culture of instant gratification. Credit cards, buy dash now, dash pay dash later schemes, and easy financing options make it effortless to spend money you don't have. Companies spend billions on advertising, convincing us that happiness lies in the next purchase, the newest gadget, or the latest fashion trend. But here's the brutal truth. If you're spending more than you earn, you are not building wealth. You are building a prison. The key to breaking free from this trap is learning to live below your means. And no, this doesn't mean depriving yourself of joy or living a frugal, joyless life. It means being strategic with your money, prioritizing needs over wants, and making choices that serve your long-term goals instead of your short-term desires. Here is for steps. How to do it. 1. Create a realistic budget. List your income and expenses, and track where every dollar goes. This will help you see the truth of your financial situation. 2. Automate your savings. Before you pay anyone else, pay yourself first. Set up automatic transfers to a savings or investment account. 3. Avoid lifestyle inflation. When you get a raise or a bonus, don't rush to upgrade your lifestyle. Instead, channel that extra income into savings or paying off debt. Embrace delayed gratification. If you want something, wait 30 days before buying it. Often, you'll find the desire fades away, saving you from impulse purchases. Think of wealthy individuals like Warren Buffett, who, despite being one of the richest people in the world, still lives in a modest house he bought in 1958. He understands that wealth isn't about showing off. It's about freedom, security, and choices. When you learn to live below your means, you gain control over your finances. You create a cushion for emergencies, build a foundation for investments, and open the door to opportunities that those in debt will never see. So, take a hard look at your finances. Are you living like Sarah, constantly stretching beyond your limits? Or are you taking the path of discipline and strategy, setting yourself up for real, lasting wealth? Stay tuned, because next we're diving into the second financial mistake keeping you poor. And trust me, it's one you don't want to miss. Number 2, not having a budget. Imagine setting off on a road trip without a map or GPS. You might have a general idea of where you want to go, but without directions, you're likely to get lost, waste time, and spend way more on fuel than necessary. This is exactly what managing your money without a budget feels like. It's wandering through your financial life without a clear plan, hoping things will work out, but never really knowing where you're headed. Take Mark, for example. He earns a decent income, and on payday, his bank account looks healthy. But by the end of the month, he's left wondering, where did all my money go? He constantly feels broke, struggles to save, and often relies on his credit card to get by. The truth is, Mark isn't necessarily bad with money. He just doesn't have a budget. A budget is more than just a spreadsheet with numbers. It's a roadmap for your financial future. It tells your money where to go instead of leaving you wondering where it went. Without it, even the highest earners can find themselves trapped in financial chaos. One of the biggest myths about budgeting is that it's restrictive, that it means cutting out all the fun from your life. But in reality, a good budget is the opposite. It gives you freedom. It allows you to spend without guilt, knowing that your essentials are covered, your savings are growing, and your financial goals are on track. So here is the 5 steps. How do you create a budget that works? 1. Know your numbers. Start by calculating your total monthly income. Then list all your expenses, from rent and groceries to subscriptions and entertainment. Don't forget irregular expenses like car maintenance or annual insurance premiums. 2. Categorize your spending. Divide your expenses into categories: essentials like housing, food, and bills, savings and investments, and discretionary spending. 3. Set spending limits. Assign a specific amount to each category, making sure you prioritize savings and avoid overspending. 4. Track your spending. Use apps, spreadsheets, or even a simple notebook to record every expense. This will show you where your money is really going and help you identify areas where you can cut back. 5. Review and adjust. Your budget isn't set in stone. Review it regularly and make adjustments based on your financial goals and lifestyle changes. Consider how Dave Ramsey, a well-known personal finance expert, emphasizes the power of budgeting through his every dollar method. Ramsey often shares stories of families who, after struggling with debt for years, finally found financial peace simply by creating and sticking to a budget. When you have a budget, you're no longer controlled by your money. You take control, you're able to save, invest, and build wealth systematically. And most importantly, you eliminate the anxiety that comes from not knowing if you'll make it to the next paycheck. Mark, from our story, eventually sat down and created a budget. At first, it was tough. He had to confront his spending habits and cut back on unnecessary expenses. But over time, he started seeing his savings grow. He built an emergency fund, paid off his credit card debt, and for the first time, felt secure and in control of his financial future. If you don't have a budget, start today. It doesn't need to be perfect or complex. It just needs to exist. Because without a budget, you're simply guessing. And when it comes to your financial future, guessing is never a winning strategy. Number 3, not building an emergency fund. Imagine this. John had a stable job, a good salary, and his finances seemed to be in decent shape. He had some savings, but most of it was tied up in investments and non-liquid assets. Then, out of nowhere, his company announced mass layoffs, and John's name was on the list. At first, he wasn't too worried. He thought finding a new job would be quick. But weeks turned into months, and his bills didn't wait. His rent, utility bills, car payments, and daily expenses started to pile up. With no emergency fund to fall back on, John was forced to sell his investments at a loss, max out his credit cards, and eventually take on high-interest loans. This is the brutal reality of not having an emergency fund. When life throws you a curveball, and it will, an emergency fund can be the safety net that keeps you from financial ruin. An emergency fund is not just a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. It's the difference between a setback and a catastrophe. It's the money that lets you breathe when your car breaks down, when a medical emergency arises, or when you suddenly lose your income. But how much should you save? Most financial experts recommend having 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses set aside. If your monthly expenses are $3,000, you should aim to save at least $9,000 to $18,000. And if your job is unstable or you work in a volatile industry, aim for the higher end of that range. Building an emergency fund might sound daunting, but it doesn't have to be. You can start small and build gradually. Here are some tips. 1. Set a small initial goal. Start with $1,000. This is enough to cover many small emergencies and can prevent you from needing to rely on credit cards. 2. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer to a dedicated savings account every payday. Even $50 a week adds up to $2,600 in a year. 3. Cut back temporarily. Reduce non-essential expenses until you reach your emergency fund goal. This might mean eating out less, canceling unused subscriptions, or finding ways to save on everyday expenses. 4. Keep it accessible, but not too tempting. Store your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. Avoid investing it in stocks or anything with risk. You need this money to be safe and liquid. Take the example of Sue Orman, a renowned personal finance expert. She emphasizes the importance of an emergency fund by saying, when you have money in the bank, you gain the power to make better decisions. It's true. When you're financially prepared for emergencies, you're less likely to make desperate choices like taking a bad job offer or selling assets at the worst possible time. John, from our story, learned this lesson the hard way. After he finally recovered from his financial crisis, he made building an emergency fund his top priority. Today, he keeps 6 months of expenses in a separate account, giving him a sense of security he had never felt before. An emergency fund is like a financial bulletproof vest. It doesn't make you invincible, but it can prevent life's unexpected blows from being fatal to your finances. If you don't have one yet, start today. Even a small step forward is better than standing still. And when the next storm hits, you'll be glad you did. Number 4. Living beyond your means. Let me tell you a story about Sarah. Sarah always dreamed of living the good life. She wanted to enjoy the latest gadgets, drive a nice car, wear designer clothes, and dine at trendy restaurants. And why not? She worked hard and she deserved it. Every month, Sarah's paycheck arrived, and every month it seemed to vanish just as quickly. Her credit card balances grew, but she told herself it was fine. She'd pay them off later, but later never came. Soon, the minimum payments on her card were eating up a huge chunk of her income, and her financial stress was through the roof. Sarah wasn't alone. Living beyond your means is a trap many people fall into. It's the seductive whisper of treat yourself. It's the pull of social media, where everyone seems to be living their best life, and you feel the need to keep up. But here's the harsh truth. If you keep spending more than you earn, you will never build wealth. Living beyond your means doesn't always look like reckless spending. Sometimes it's subtle. It's saying yes to that slightly bigger apartment when you should have stayed in a modest one. It's choosing the fancier car lease instead of the reliable used car. It's buying now and planning to figure it out later. Consider the story of Shaquille O'Neal, the basketball legend. When Shaq got his first big paycheck, he went on a shopping spree, spending $1 million in a single day. He bought a luxury car, then another for his dad, and jewelry for his mom. But when his financial advisor called, Shaq realized he had almost nothing left, and that was before taxes. Luckily, Shaq learned this lesson early. He started educating himself about money, living below his means, and making smart investments. Today, he's not just a sports icon, but a savvy businessman worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But not everyone learns this lesson early or at all. Many people end up trapped in a cycle of debt, living paycheck to paycheck, always one financial emergency away from disaster. So, how can you avoid this trap? Here is some tips. 1. Adopt a minimalist mindset. This doesn't mean you have to live with nothing, but it does mean focusing on what truly adds value to your life. Spend on things that bring you joy or align with your goals, and cut back on the rest. 2. Delay gratification. Instead of buying on impulse, set a rule to wait 24 to 48 hours before making non-essential purchases. You'll be surprised how often the desire fades. 3. Avoid lifestyle inflation. When your income increases, resist the urge to upgrade your lifestyle immediately. Instead, boost your savings and investments first. 4. Be mindful of debt. Avoid using credit cards for things you can't afford to pay off in full each month. Debt can quickly spiral out of control, and interest payments will erode your wealth. 5. Embrace frugality as a strength. Many self-made millionaires and billionaires, like Warren Buffett, are known for their frugal lifestyles. Buffett still lives in the modest home he bought in 1958, even though he could afford a mansion anywhere in the world. The key takeaway here is this: wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. Sarah, from our story, eventually realized that living a flashy lifestyle was costing her financial freedom. She downsized her apartment, sold the expensive car, and started budgeting carefully. It wasn't easy, but over time her debt decreased, her savings grew, and she finally felt in control of her life. Living within your means might not be glamorous, but it is powerful. It's the foundation upon which wealth is built. When you master this, you lay the groundwork for financial success and peace of mind. And remember, financial freedom isn't about deprivation. It's about making intentional choices today that create opportunities for tomorrow. Number 5, ignoring the power of investing. Imagine this: two friends, Michael and David, both 25 years old, receive a $10,000 bonus at work. Michael, cautious by nature, decides to put his money into a savings account, earning a minimal interest rate. He feels safe knowing his money is protected. David, on the other hand, understands the power of investing. He puts his $10,000 into a diversified index fund, earning an average annual return of 8%. He doesn't touch the money, letting compound interest work its magic. Fast forward 30 years. Michael's savings account, even with interest, has grown to around $15,000. But David's investment, it's worth over $100,000. This is the incredible, almost magical power of investing, and one of the biggest financial mistakes you can make is ignoring it. So why do so many people avoid investing? For some, it's fear the stock market seems risky and unpredictable. For others, it's a lack of knowledge. They don't know where to start, so they don't start at all. And then there's the mindset: I'll invest when I make more money. But here's the truth: waiting is costly. Consider the story of Ronald Reed, a janitor and gas station attendant who amassed an $8 million fortune through smart investing. Ronald didn't earn a massive salary. He simply invested consistently over decades, mainly in dividend-paying stocks. When he passed away, his wealth stunned his community, and it all came from understanding and leveraging the power of compound interest. The biggest mistake isn't just not investing. It's not starting early enough. Time is your greatest ally when it comes to building wealth through investments. What makes investing so powerful? It's all about compound interest, which Albert Einstein famously called the eighth wonder of the world. When you invest, your money earns returns, then those returns earn returns. Over time, this snowball effect can turn small, consistent investments into significant wealth. Let's break it down with a simple example. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 25 and earn an 8% annual return, by the time you're 65, you'll have over $1.5 million. If you start the same investment at 35 instead, you'd end up with $729,000. And if you wait until 45, you'll accumulate only $309,000. This is why starting early matters so much. But what if you're not in your 20s anymore? The best time to start was yesterday, The second best time is now. It's never too late to start investing. Even if you start small, consistency is key. Here's 5 steps to avoid this financial mistake. 1. Start as soon as possible. Whether you have $50 or $50,000, the sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. 2. Educate yourself. Learn the basics of investing. Understand different asset classes like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and real estate. 3. Leverage index funds and ETFs. These offer diversification and are often less risky than investing in individual stocks. Legendary investor Warren Buffett often advises that most people should invest in low-cost index funds to grow their wealth over time. 4. Be consistent. Set up automatic contributions to your investment accounts. This approach, known as dollar-cost averaging, helps you build wealth without worrying about market timing. 5. Invest for the long term. The market will have ups and downs, but historically it trends upward over time. Don't panic when you see red. Stay focused on your long-term goals. Investing is not just for the wealthy. It's how many people become wealthy. It's not about making quick gains or taking huge risks. It's about creating a habit, being disciplined, and allowing time to do the heavy lifting. Michael, from our story, eventually realized his mistake. He started investing in his late 40s, and while he didn't see the same explosive growth as David, he still managed to build a comfortable nest egg for his retirement. The lesson: it's never too late to start, but the earlier the better. Number 6. Neglecting to build multiple streams of income. Let me introduce you to Tom. Tom had a stable job at a tech company, earning a decent salary. He loved his job, and everything seemed secure until it wasn't. One day, due to unexpected budget cuts, Tom was laid off. His entire income vanished overnight. With bills piling up and no immediate prospects, Tom found himself in a financial nightmare. Tom's story is a stark reminder of a critical financial mistake: relying on a single source of income. In today's world, depending solely on your paycheck is like walking a financial tightrope without a safety net. The truth is, no job is 100% secure. Economic downturns, company restructuring, or industry disruptions can pull the rug out from under you at any time. On the flip side, let me share the story of Jay-Z, the billionaire rapper and entrepreneur. Jay-Z didn't just rely on his music career. He built multiple income streams through businesses in fashion, real estate, entertainment, and investments. When one stream slows down, others keep flowing, ensuring his wealth remained stable and growing. That's the power of multiple streams of income. They create financial resilience. So what exactly are multiple streams of income? Multiple income streams can come from a variety of sources. 1. Earned income, your regular paycheck from your job. 2. Business income, money you earn from a side business or entrepreneurial venture. 3. Investment income, returns from stocks, bonds, dividends, or real estate. 4. Passive income, money that comes in regularly with minimal effort, such as rental income, royalties or earnings from a blog or YouTube channel. 5. Portfolio income, profits from selling investments like stocks or real estate at a higher price than what you paid. 6. Side hustles, freelancing, consulting, or part-time gigs that bring in extra cash. By diversifying your income, you not only reduce financial risk, but also increase your potential for wealth creation. Here's some steps to avoid this financial mistake. 1. Start a side hustle. Consider your skills and how they can generate income outside of your primary job. Can you freelance, tutor, or create digital products? 2. Invest in assets that generate income. Real estate, dividend-paying stocks, and even peer-to-peer lending can provide additional income streams. 3. Monetize your hobbies. Are you good at photography, writing, or crafting? Platforms like Etsy, Fiverr, and YouTube allow you to turn passions into profits. 4. Develop passive income streams. Create something once, like an e-book, an online course, or a digital product, and earn money from it repeatedly. 5. Look for opportunities within your job. Negotiate for performance-based bonuses, profit sharing, or commissions. 6. Build an online presence. Whether through a blog, a YouTube channel, or social media, an online audience can be monetized in various ways, including ads, sponsorships, and product sales. Think of your income streams as the legs of a table. With only one leg, the table is unstable and easily toppled. But with 4 or more legs, it stands strong, even if one leg fails. Tom, from our story, learned this lesson the hard way. After his layoff, he started a consulting business on the side, invested in stocks, and launched a YouTube channel about tech reviews. The next time a financial storm hit, he was ready. His consulting gigs and passive income from YouTube helped him stay afloat, and he never looked back. The most successful people, from Elon Musk to Oprah Winfrey, understand that wealth isn't just about earning more money. It's about creating systems that make money for you even while you sleep. So ask yourself today, if your primary income stopped tomorrow, how long could you sustain your lifestyle? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, it's time to build those extra streams of income, not just for wealth, but for security, peace of mind, and true financial freedom. Number 7. Failing to set financial goals and plan for the future. Picture this. You're on a ship in the middle of the ocean. The sky is clear, the water is calm, but there's one problem. You have no map and no destination. You're just drifting. That's how many people live their financial lives. They work hard, earn money, pay bills, and save a little, if at all. But they have no clear financial goals, no plan, no map guiding them toward financial success. This lack of direction is one of the most dangerous financial mistakes you can make, failing to set financial goals and plan for the future. Let me tell you about Sarah, a graphic designer. For years, Sarah lived paycheck to paycheck. She had no savings, no investments, and no clear vision of where she wanted to be financially. One day, after a medical emergency left her with hefty bills, Sarah realized she needed a change. She sat down, wrote out her financial goals, and built a plan. She aimed to save $10,000 in an emergency fund, pay off her $15,000 debt within 2 years, and start investing for her retirement. Sarah tracked her expenses, created a budget, and set small, actionable steps to hit her targets. In just a few years, Sarah not only achieved her goals, but also started building real wealth through investments. The difference, she had a clear map, and she followed it. Did you know why are financial goals so important? Financial goals act as a roadmap. They give your money purpose and direction. Without them, it's easy to spend impulsively, save inconsistently, and drift through life without building any real wealth. Imagine trying to build a house without blueprints. You might end up with a pile of bricks and wood, but nothing livable. Similarly, without financial goals, you might earn a lot, but you won't build lasting wealth. The world's wealthiest and most successful individuals, from Bill Gates to Mark Cuban, set clear financial goals and develop strategies to achieve them. They don't just hope for wealth, they plan for it. And here is the final 7 points to avoid this financial mistake. 1. Set clear and specific goals. Instead of vague goals like I want to save money, set specific targets. I want to save $20,000 for a down payment on a house in the next 18 months. 2. Create short, medium, and long-term goals. Short-term goals could be building an emergency fund. Medium-term might involve paying off debt. Long-term could focus on retirement or investing for future wealth. 3. Break down your goals into actionable steps. If your goal is to save $10,000 in a year, break it down to saving about $833 per month or $27 per day. Smaller steps make big goals less intimidating. 4. Track your progress regularly. Use budgeting apps or a simple spreadsheet to monitor your income, expenses, and savings. Adjust as needed to stay on track. 5. Automate your savings and investments. Set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment accounts. This removes temptation and ensures consistent progress. 6. Stay flexible and adapt. Life changes, and so should your financial plans. If your income increases, adjust your goals higher. If a setback occurs, recalibrate and keep moving forward. 7. Celebrate milestones. Reward yourself when you hit key financial milestones. This keeps you motivated and reinforces good financial habits. Let me share a quick story of Jim Carrey, the famous actor. Before he was a household name, Jim wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and dated it 5 years into the future. He carried that check in his wallet every day. Sure enough, within 5 years, he landed the role in Dumb and Dumber, earning him exactly $10 million. While Jim's story might seem extreme, it underscores a powerful truth. When you set a clear goal and focus your actions, incredible things can happen. Why this financial mistake keeps people poor. This will happen when you don't set goals. You might save sporadically and spend aimlessly. Opportunities for investments might pass by unnoticed. You remain stuck in a cycle of earning and spending, never building wealth. But when you do set goals, every financial decision becomes clearer. You're motivated to cut unnecessary expenses and boost your savings. You start seeing progress, which builds momentum and confidence. Sarah, from our story, is now well on her way to financial independence. She has investments, an emergency fund, and a clear path to retirement. Her success wasn't due to luck, It was due to a plan. So ask yourself today, where do you want to be financially in 5, 10, or 20 years? What steps can you take right now to start moving in that direction? Because here's the truth. If you don't plan for your financial future, you're planning to stay exactly where you are. And that, my friends, is how you avoid this final, critical financial mistake. And there you have it, the 7 financial mistakes keeping you poor, and how to avoid them. We've explored everything from living beyond your means and neglecting investments to the dangers of not setting clear financial goals. Each mistake is a trap, but now you hold the keys to break free. Remember, building wealth isn't about luck or overnight success. It's about discipline, strategy, and making intentional choices with your money. The wealthy didn't get there by accident. They got there by avoiding these common pitfalls and taking consistent, smart actions. Now it's your turn. Take a moment to reflect. Which of these mistakes are you making today? What steps can you take, starting right now, to turn things around? If you found this video valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to Head of Billions for more powerful insights into building wealth, mastering your mindset, and achieving financial freedom. And hey, let us know in the comments, what's the biggest financial lesson you've learned so far? Your story could inspire someone else to make a change. Stay focused, stay hungry, and as always, keep pushing towards your billionaire mindset. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay ahead of billions.